Welcome to the first edition of the Sly Hooper NBA Awards on the Sly Hooper YouTube channel. I've chosen award winners numerous times in the past, but never went on record, so this is the perfect opportunity to introduce something new to the channel. And of course, at the end of every season, just giving who I think should be MVP, most improved player, and all that good stuff. And I'll put the MVP pick at the end of this video because I know that's going to be the most talked about and most contentious topic of all the awards. And I'll go through the other awards first because I feel like I won't pontificate as much about other awards as I will the MVP. And there were some interesting races this year. Coach of the Year is going to be contentious. Most Improved Player, you could have literally listed 500 players as candidates for Most Improved Player. Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, I think, is a foregone conclusion. But we've had some pretty close and contested debates about these awards. And so for each one, I'm going to list out my top 5. Some of the awards, I've noticed that people have only listed the top 3. And I think that's just because that's how the NBA has it set up. Like I know Most Improved Player had a top 3. Defensive Player of the Year had a top 3. But I'm going to list all 5 for every award. So without further ado, let's get to the first edition of the Sly Hooper NBA Awards. So we'll start with Sixth Man of the Year, and I think this one's pretty easy. Number 1, I have Tyler Hero. I just think he's been the runaway favorite all season. He's played in a lot of clutch lineups for Miami, obviously. He's probably their most relied upon clutch player. He's taken a lot of the big shots for the Heat. He's basically another starter just coming off of the bench. The guy is averaging 25 and 4, shooting damn near 40% from 3, and some of those threes are just some really tough shots. And yeah, he gets attacked on the other end, but overall, he's just had a great impact on the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. And so Tyler Hero, he's going to be my Sixth Man of the Year. The real question is, were all the other 4 people placed? And beyond the top 4, it was really hard to find a 5th person or to place a 5th person there. But for number 2, I have Cam Johnson of the Phoenix Suns. He was a steady force for a historically great Phoenix Suns team all year. Took a leap in play, shooting 42.5% from 3, plays solid defense, is in the right spots at the right time always, and has been deadly in some of the Suns' small ball lineups. He just provides great size at both forward spots, especially if you want to put him at small ball 4. And so I have Cam Johnson at number 2. Number 3 is Kevin Love. He has been fantastic all year for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Number 4, I have Bogdan Bogdanovic, who has also been fantastic for the Hawks. And then number 5, I went with Luke Kennard for the Clippers. Most Improved Player, there were a lot of candidates you could have put for Most Improved Player, and all of them have a legit case. You just had to whittle down the list and have a cutting room floor, and then a short list, and then ultimately your actual list. So number 1 for me, my Most Improved Player is Desmond Bane, and I wanted to put Tyrese Maxey here, who I have second, but to me, Desmond Bane's leap from being a bench guy that's high in the rotation as a rookie last year and a catch and shoot guy to turning into a damn near all-star for a 56-win Memphis Grizzlies team, starting in a backcourt with Ja Morant and shining like that. It's just super impressive to me. The guy doubled his points, increased his three-point percentage along with his volume of attempts, is a fucking locomotive in transition, and I talked about it in my Grizzlies video I did a few months back. But Desmond Bane is built like a linebacker, and when you get him rolling in transition, he has a really underrated grab-and-go, fast break style of play. He speeds down the court, he's able to get an angle on you despite having short arms, and the dude is just built like a tank. He was just really impressive to me this year, was just a really good defender, in my opinion, and just a sublime improvement from one year to the next in terms of offensive improvement. And just being one of the key guys, one of the key cogs on a great Memphis team. Then number 2, of course, I have Tyrese Maxey, who also had a similar ridiculous leap from rookie to second-year player. He went from 30% from three to 42.5% from three, which is unheard of if you're trying to improve as a shooter. And all year, Maxey has taken on a larger role with Ben Simmons deciding not to play and helping out Joel Embiid as best as he can as a second-year player. I just think that's really impressive. And just the leap he took from year one to year two, I can tell you from watching almost all of his minutes during his career, it's just nothing short of spectacular. Then number 3, I have DeJounte Murray. His leap from, really nice young player, great defender, elite defender, to just becoming an offensive force, averaging 28 and 8, bumping it up from previous averages and getting increased usage and seeing the improvement along with good efficiency. I just can't wait to see how DeJounte Murray's career kind of projects, because it's already spectacular, and he made an all-star team this year while still maintaining his elite defense. And then number 4, I have Cam Johnson. As I mentioned earlier, he's a candidate to me for Sixth Man of the Year, and his improvement is just one of the many reasons why Phoenix took another leap as a team and improved coming off of a finals appearance. Cam Johnson's just steady. Number 5, I have Jordan Poole. And Jordan Poole, think about this, was in the G League last year. And he sort of came on towards the end of the season last year. But this year, he has turned into one of those players where it's like, oh, this guy is going to be really special. He does some special things on the court. His movement, his swagger, his handle, his three-point shot, especially post All-Star break, and kind of serving as the number 1 or number 2 option, depending on if Klay's on fire, while Steph Curry has been out, is just nothing short of impressive. And Jordan Poole is just going to be a fantastic player for the Warriors as they try to bridge the Big 3 era into the next era. And then we're going to go to Coach of the Year, which was one of the harder awards to decide on because there were so many great candidates. I'm going to list out the list 1 through 5 and then touch on each one a little bit, or, touch on the one who I think is the winner. Number 1, Monty Williams of the Phoenix Suns. Number 2, Taylor Jenkins of the Memphis Grizzlies. Number 3, Eric Spoelstra for the Heat. Number 4, Ime Udoka for the Boston Celtics. And I was really flipping back and forth between Spoelstra and Udoka at 3. And number 5, I have JB Bickerstaff of the Cavaliers. Now, I know there are some voters who have gone public with their vote and have voted for Taylor Jenkins as Coach of the Year, and I have no issue with that. If Taylor Jenkins is your guy for Coach of the Year, he is an absolutely worthy candidate, has a great case. Obviously, I had him number 2, so it's no slight on him or anything. I just have Monty Williams as the Coach of the Year. The fact that the Phoenix Suns improved so much coming off of a finals appearance is just incredible to me. The fact that he made some tweaks to an already great team and it's paid dividends has also been a feather in the cap for Monty Williams' case. The fact that the Suns are top 10 in pace when they were in the bottom third of the league in pace last year. The fact that they're a better defensive team. The fact that their offense is better. The fact that they are taking shots that everybody in the modern NBA is saying don't take. They are taking, and they are a top 2 offense because of it. And I know people are going to bring up the fact that the Memphis Grizzlies had an absolutely crazy good record without Ja Morant. That is fair, but I would like to point out that Monty Williams has dealt with his fair share of adversity. And I bring this up because I have seen some absolutely insulting takes, in my opinion, where people are saying Monty Williams would not have done as good of a job in Memphis with the circumstances that Taylor Jenkins dealt with, and they are using that to tear down Monty to prop up Taylor Jenkins. If you want to bring up the fact that Taylor Jenkins led the Grizzlies to an incredible record without Ja Morant, he can plug and play all these players, him and his coaching staff have developed all these young guys, great. But don't be insulting about it, because Monty Williams has dealt with his own adversity. On top of the tweaks to the team that made him better that I mentioned earlier, the Suns had relatively great injury luck last year. They were mostly healthy until, the playoffs and Chris Paul got the shoulder injury and all of that. But this year, it kind of flipped on its head for the Suns. The Suns did not have DeAndre Ayton for 24 games. They did not have Chris Paul for 17 games. They did not have Devin Booker for 14 games. They did not have Cam Johnson for 16 games. There have been injuries all up and down the Suns roster, and they're still churning out wins. 25 teams across NBA history finished the regular season with a 78% winning percentage, and I'm including the winning percentage because there's some teams, like the Celtics one year way back in 1960 was 59-16. There have only been 25 teams that have ended the regular season with their record being a 78 win percentage, and the Suns are one of those teams. That is winning at an incredibly rare level, and Monty Williams navigated through a lot of not bullshit per se, but navigated through adversity, also made great tweaks to make the Suns a better team than what they were last year, and quite frankly, they are going to be the favorites to win the championship. They should be the heavy favorites. I made a video about it 2 weeks ago. And you just got to reward winning at some point, especially when Monty Williams made tweaks to make the Suns a better team and navigated through all of those injuries. Shout out to Taylor Jenkins. He dealt with a lot of adversity too, especially only having his best player for 57 or so games. But don't discredit the adversity that Monty Williams dealt with just to prop up Taylor Jenkins. Actually make the case for Taylor Jenkins. To me, Monty Williams should have won Coach of the Year last year. He should win it again this year because the Suns are going from finalist last year to heavy favorite to win the title this year. And then Eric Spoelstra's third. He dealt with similar adversity, a lot of injuries actually. Bam Adebayo. Kyle Lowry was out with injuries and personal reasons. Jimmy Butler dealt with injuries. Just the Heat up and down. They had to keep plugging and playing people, and they ended up with the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. And to me, that slightly gave him the edge over Ime Udoka, because while Udoka has overseen one of the craziest turnarounds I have ever seen from a team in an NBA season ever in my time watching basketball, the start to the season is kind of what's weighing him down. If you want to put Udoka over Spoelstra, I'm not going to hold you, but you have to take the whole body of work into account, and it's an insane turnaround. So if that's enough for you to put Ime Udoka into the top 3, I was close to doing it, but to me, Eric Spoelstra all year has had the Heat churning, and they were the number 1 seed in the East. They finished the season as the number 1 seed in the East. And then number 5, I have JB Bickerstaff, and he would have probably shot up the rankings if Cleveland just didn't deal with the rash of injuries that they had to deal with. They were such a feel-good story during the year. At one point, they were within earshot of having the top seed in the Eastern Conference before the All-Star break, and then injuries just smacked them in the face. But JB Bickerstaff decided to do something different. A lot of his best players leaned big, so he decided to start a 3-big lineup, and I thought it was insane at the time. And what do you know? It worked. And they were really great because of it, especially defensively when they were fully healthy. And now the injury bug is just bitten them, and I feel bad for Cavs fans. I feel bad for the Cavs because I think they've had a great year, and I think Darius Garland is in line with a lot of young point guards to be the next superstar point guard, and we have so many superstar guards already. But JB Bickerstaff still kept the ship steady as he could, as much as possible, and he's 5th on my Coach of the Year ballot. That is it for part 1 of my award show. In part 2, we'll get to the good stuff. Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, and then of course, MVP.